So guys, now let's start about few important methods and functions which are applicable on a list. So first let's go on a Python file, and it is advice for you if you are not aware much about the mutability in Python or mutability in programming, then please do not use a Jupyter notebook for this lecture. Please use any normal .py file. Jupyter Notebook extension is .ipynb and don't use that. You might get confused. So let's get back to our topic, which were about functions and methods of a list. So in Python, we have a built-in function, we call it dir. And with the help of that dir built-in function, we can see the related majority of the methods with any object. So this is how we apply this dir function. This let's write down this dir, then write down this parenthesis, this and then ilist. As this is not a Jupyter notebook, so we don't have any return value. So let's use our print function. Now let's run the code. So you will see we have got this output, and these are all of our, or not all, I would rather say majority of our methods which are associated with a list object. And these underscore methods, we call them the magic methods, and we will talk about them later on. For now, we will focus its main methods, and apart from that few other built-in functions and operations which are applicable on a list. So first let's focus on those built-in functions and objects which are for adding and removing one item from a list. So first let me print it out our list. So let's print it out this I list. So this is our list. Now let's use this append function on this list. And what this append function does, it adds a item in the end of a list. So let's write down our I list, and to apply a method which is applicable on a list, I'm saying method which are applicable on a list. For that we can write down a dot, then append, and then write down whatever the object you would like to add in the end of this list. Now let's say now I want to add a string object new item in this list, and now let me print it out this list. Now you could see that after using this append method, we have added this string object which is new item in the end of this list. And this pop method does exactly opposite of that. It removes the last item from a list. Now let's use this pop method. So first write down this I list, then write down this pop, and just use a parenthesis. So whenever this line will get executed, we will remove the last item from a list, and our last item for now is this new item. After that, let's print it out this I list. Let's run our code. So do you see, after applying this pop method, this new item has gone. But there is a one more thing what this pop method does. Whenever you will apply a pop method, it will always remove a item from a list, but as well as it will return that item also. So what it does, when this line got executed, it removed that new item as well as it returned that item. So if there is a need, we can assign that return item to any variable and utilize it also. So let me remove item. So let me use this variable. So what will happen whenever this line will get executed? So right part will execute it first. So in this part, whenever this part will get executed, it will remove this new item and will return that new item. And when that new item will be returned, that new item will be assigned to this variable new item, remove item. So now this variable have this new item inside in it. So now we can print it out, that remove item, and it will give in the print that new item. That's what has happened over here. And what this insert does, so with the help of append, we could add a item only in the end, and with the help of insert, we can add a item in a list wherever you want to. So for that, you need two arguments. So one thing you need to know in this list, that where you would like to add the item. So first check that index. So let's say I want to add item after this ABC. So what's the index will be 0, 1, 2, 3 over here. So now let's apply this insert method. So first write down this I list, then dot insert, then a parentheses, and then in this parentheses write down first the index number. Index number is 0, 1, 2, 3. Here I would like to add the item. Then after this index number, whatever the item I would like to add in this list, and any valid object as usual you could add in a list. So let me add a new list. Let's say 4, 5, 6. This is a new list, and now after that let me print it out this list. So do you see, we have added this new list after this ABC. Now this pop with argument does exactly opposite what this insert does. Now we can remove a item wherever you would like from a list just by providing its index number. So what we can do, you can write down this I list, then pop, pip, pop, and then provide the index. Now let's say I want to remove, let's say this ABC, and what's the index number of this ABC? 0, 1, 2. So write down this 2, and then let's print it out this I list. Let's run the code. So you will see that after applying this pop with argument, our ABC has gone. That's how we use this pop with argument. And same way, whenever we will use this pop method, it does two things. It removes that item, and it removed that ABC and returned. As we did not assign that ABC anywhere, so it has gone from our memory. But we would have assigned, like we did remove item over here. It will be assigned to that whatever the variable we will provide. So now we have one more, this del method, but this del is not a built-in method. It's a built-in function. It does almost same thing what this pop with argument does, but with this function we can do one more additional thing. What we can do with this del method, that we can remove a item the way we did with the pop method, but as well as we can remove a item if that item is immutable and contains other objects inside in it. So that object we can remove. So we can remove this whole list, but as well as if we want to remove, let's say just one item, let's say this 5. So it can remove this 5 only from a list with this del method, which we cannot do with this pop method. Let's see how we do that. Let's say we have this del method, and now first I want to remove this 21. So first write down this del, as this is not a built-in method, this is a built-in function. So we don't write like this with a dot and then function after that object. So first we write down this del, then write down our I list, and then write down a square brackets, and I would like to remove first this 21. Let's write a 0, and let's print this I list. Do you see, after this del we have removed that 21 from our list. But now let's say I want to remove now this 5. So for that, what I can do, I can first write the same way this I list, and then first reach it down to this list. So the index number of this list is 1, and in this list I want to remove this 5. And what is the index number of this 5? 0, 1. Again, so 0, 1. And now let's print it out this I list. Let's print it out this I list. Let's run the code. So do you see, now after using this way we have removed this 5, but it can only remove this way the I objects which are mutable, as the list is a mutable object, and this removes a item from a list, but not with the help of indexing, but with a value. So what do I mean on that? So let's say I want to remove this 4 from this list. So what this removal does, it will remove if there are duplicates item in that, So it will remove whatever will be the leftmost item, as we have this 4 two times in a list. So let's apply that. So let's say I list, then dot, then remove, and then write down the value, whatever you would like to remove. As I want to remove this 4, so write down the 4, and then let's print it out, this I list, and let's run the code. So do you see, we have removed our first 4. And there's a one piece of advice for you. So if in case you want to add a item in this list and position doesn't matter, always use this append method. Inserting method is not advisable if you do not have any specific place requirement to add a item, because it takes much more time to add a item. So for adding one or two item, if that doesn't matter, but if you're having hundreds of or thousands of operation which is happening again and again, it will take more time to execute your code. Same way, if you have a requirement to remove a item, don't use this remove method. As long as you have a requirement, use these indexing methods, as using index is a much more faster than using this way. So thanks guys, I hope you have learned pretty good things about how to remove and add item. So please don't forget to subscribe this channel. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.